Pac-10 Hoops on FSN is brought to you by Best Buy. More than just HD. It's HD done right at Best Buy. And by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Welcome back to the McHale Center. Basketball tradition here in Tucson. Under Lute Olson, 4 Final Fours and 1 national championship in 1997. Well, today they welcome in the Memphis Tigers, who are 8-2, number 18 in the nation, and the Arizona Wildcats are at 8-1. Here's a look at the starting lineup for Memphis. Dozier, great shot blocker. Dorsey is averaging almost 10 rebounds per game. Douglas Roberts, we told you about him, averaging almost 17 per game. Anderson is their glue, and Willie Kemp, a very talented, true freshman point guard. And there's John Calipari, outstanding coach. 156 wins with Memphis, and he has had 6 straight 20-win seasons, trying for a record 7 this year. Now for the Arizona Wildcats, here's a look at their starting lineup. Marcus Williams, an outstanding sophomore from Washington, averaging over 17 per game. Marcus talked about Chase Budinger, and Ivan Radinovich has been terrific as the post player, moving to the number 5 spot, and he has been terrific. Jawan McClellan is back and healthy. He's scoring better than 13 points per game. And Mustafa Shakur, one of the top point guards in college basketball. Of course, there's Lute Olson, 577 wins with Arizona in his 24th year with the Wildcats. When he arrived, this place was desperate, and he has taken them to the elite in college basketball. Marcus, how about our keys to the game?
This place was desperate and dormant, but the keys tonight fizz from Memphis. They turned it over 23 times in their last game against Austin Peay. They got to handle pressure, and sometimes they lose focus defensively. They can't have that happen tonight. Arizona, Memphis shoots a lot of three-point shots. They got to contest threes out of that zone, and Arizona, I believe, can do some damage. Offensive rebounding the basketball, especially Jawan McClellan.
Well, they do not shoot particularly well from three-point range. They're only shooting 29.9%.
It's quantity. It's quantity.
Okay.
They're streaky.
Well, how about Chris Douglas Roberts, the way he's feeling?
Yeah, he's been under the weather, a little bit of a stomach virus, so we'll see how he holds up under this fast pace.
It's Arizona against Memphis. We are here at the McHale Center, and this is Game 6 in the series. The Tigers lead it 3-2. All 5 games took place in the 1950s and 1960s before any of these athletes were even born. And there is young Budinger out of San Diego. What a talent he has been, averaging over 17 points and almost 6 rebounds per game. Memphis in the blue, Arizona in the white.
Volleyball player with the hops. He'll jump center, a 42-inch vert to Chase Budinger.
And it is won by Memphis at the controls as Willie Kemp, the freshman point guard from Boulevard, Tennessee. About an hour drive from Memphis.
Arizona played a lot of zone against Houston in their last game, but they start out in their defensive staple, their man-to-man.
And there's the drive, and missing the layup is Chris Douglas Roberts. Remember, a little under the weather, and he did not really perform that often in the shoot-around today. Here's Williams getting the rebound. He's been terrific the last 2 games, hitting the glass, averaging over 12 rebounds per game the last 2.
And Marcus Williams has injuries to both wrists, and he said it affects his shooting, so he's going to try and do a little bit more work inside and see how the outside jump shot is flowing.
Well, he's got 2 boards already, and here's Williams on the drive, scoring. You can see both of his wrists are heavily taped. He fell in practice, also fell in Houston, so they're a bit sore.
Yeah, that fall in Houston was a tough one. The left wrist was already sore, then he hurt the right one. Oh!
Mustafa
I love the way Mustafa Shakur is playing this season. It's his team. He's a senior. He's got the ball in his hands in transition most of the time, and then has the added benefit of having other guys like Chase Budinger and Marcus Williams, Jawan McClellan to a limited degree, who can handle the basketball.
Arizona, though, will mainly go with the 5 and the 4 right now. Are averaging over 30 minutes per game. Memphis, a much deeper team.
And they want Arizona to have to go game.
Good rebound inside by Dorsey. Gets one miss, and that's the way to get it done.
If that first you don't succeed, duck the ball.
Joey Dorsey, 6'9", 260 junior. And here comes Memphis on the steal. Douglas Roberts getting it inside. We have a whistle and a foul.
It's a traveling violation on Chris Douglas Roberts. You better be good if you got like 3 first names. Chris Douglas, I mean, you got to have game if you got 3 first names. You just have to. But Joey Dorsey out of Baltimore on the offensive rebound. You got to box him out. This is his game. Get in there, create some space. Just bangs Marcus Williams around, misses that first one, and then the second one, he's jumping in the cup.
Kemp goes to the corner, and Antonio Anderson with the 3. And once again, Memphis struggling from three-point range this year, but they have had big wins. How about beating Oklahoma, Kentucky, and Ole Miss already early this year?
And they're not bashful. I mean, they shoot 29%, just under 30% from the three-point line. And you would think that they would like, well, maybe we should alter this strategy, but they want to come down and get shots up quickly, wear Arizona down, and make Arizona have to, again, go 7, 8, and maybe 9 men deep.
They are 1 for 7 early in this game. And Jeremy Hunt now in the contest. He comes off the bench and is their second leading scorer. The steal by Budinger. It's a 3-on-2 break. McClellan in the middle. And McClellan threw it away, tried to hit Shakur, and maybe he should have just taken it right up.
He had the angle, he had the lane, should have finished off the play. Chase Budinger, nice job with the anticipation on the bad delivery by the freshman Willie Kemp, who was recruited here by Arizona by a lot of top programs around the country, Kentucky among them.
When Arizona defends, they can beat any team in the country, and they go inside, and Memphis turns it over. It is Shakur in the middle of the floor, and kicking it off to Marcus Williams. We have a whistle and a foul prior to. These officials are all 3 from Conference USA. Mark Whitehead, Curtis Shaw, and Steve Welmer. It was interesting because Lute Olson went to introduce himself, and he said, "Where are you guys from?"
Here's some of that defense you're talking about with Arizona, Steve. First 6 games compared to the last 3. And they have the talent to do so. It's just it's a mental commitment to do so.
There aren't too many post players who will go out and hit that shot, but Radinovich has early this year. He misses his first 3 of the game.
Arizona, all 5 starters shoot 36% or better from the three-point line, and that's a terrific weapon. Everybody can score the basketball, and everyone but Ivan Radinovich can create their own shots off the dribble.
Memphis really spacing very well, and they get the ball inside, and missing the shot is Dorsey. Gets it back, runs over Ivan Radinovich, and gets the charging foul. His second personal foul on Joey Dorsey.
They should have learned from that first time around when he missed the easy duck inside and had to get it back and duck it. You got to go up and just jump in the cup on that play, and then he compounds matters by digging that left shoulder right into the chest of Ivan Radinovich. Good call by the official, but Joey Dorsey's had to come out of games early like he's done now because of poor decisions and not being able to get a grip on himself emotionally, letting his emotions get the best of him.
So Dorsey is out. Kareem Cooper is now in, the 6'11", 290-pound sophomore from Washington, D.C. and Arizona, missing. There is Cooper right in the middle, big number 42. Radinovich will try and defend him, and outside, Memphis fills it up, and they've got their first lead of the night.
When you look at the numbers on these Memphis Tigers, I mean, these guys, that time, Jeremy Hunt, I mean, they have half as many field goal attempts from the three-point line as they do from the two-point line, so that gives you an idea where they like to operate from.
Budinger has it stripped, his second turnover. Willie Kemp, high lob and a beautiful feed, but not finishing as Antonio Anderson missed the layup.
Kareem Cooper got in the way.
Yeah. Williams has it blocked.
The big guy's got to defer. Got to defer to the leaper.
Dozier, he can hit this shot, misses long. Cooper rips it away from Shakur, and Shakur gets it right back. How about Mustafa Shakur?
Getting on the floor, but I like Cooper getting down there also. Cooper's had some problems with his attitude. He was suspended the early part of the season.
Shakur turns it over, though, and Memphis will have it when we come back, as there's a timeout on the floor. 15 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the first half. Tigers lead Olson's Cats by 1. Memphis comes in at 8-2 after a record-setting year last season when they won a school record 33 games. At the lead was John Calipari. It's his 7th year at Memphis. His first 6, he's won 20 games every single year or more. One Final Four. That was with UMass in 1996, and had a chance to coach great Jason Kidd out of the Pac-10 with the Nets years ago.
And more importantly to me, man, he's graduated 12 of 15 of his seniors since he's been in Memphis. The 6 years prior to his arrival, the graduation rate amongst the seniors, 0.
Well, that's getting it done. Well, here is Andre Allen, and he is mainly a passer, but hits his first 3. And Allen, only averaging 4.5 points per game, immediately contributes.
But he says, he knows his role. When he gets on the floor, it's to ratchet up the intensity of his ball club.
Good defense by Allen as he swats it out of bounds. There is Andre Allen, the 5'9" junior from Memphis.
A nice job backdooring the ball. And this one thing about this Arizona team that we didn't see last year, the unselfishness. They're willing to pass the ball. It's almost like, last year, if I give it up, I get it back. So for this year, there is this unselfishness. They move it. They make the extra pass, and it really it elevates everybody's game, especially Mustafa Shakur. He's averaging almost 8 assists a game.
Assistant coach Jim Rosborough, who's been with Lute for 18 years, he said this might be the best passing team he's seen.
Yeah. And a lot of it is just a willingness to give the basketball up. And if you know your teammate's going to give it up, it means, I'm going to work harder to get to those open areas so I can get those passes.
You just saw Coach Rosborough, one of the top assistants in the college game, the right hand for Lute Olson for so many years, and been a part almost every single Final Four.
The Wildcats changing up their defense. They started out in man-to-man. They've switched to a 2-3 zone, but it's an organic 2-3 zone. It will morph into a 1-2-2, into a 3-2.
Second personal for Marcus Williams, and remember, Memphis is a much deeper team than Arizona.
See, now it's almost like a 1-4 with Shakur putting a little bit of ball pressure on the point guard, Andre Allen.
Wow, good drive by Antonio Anderson, the 6'6" sophomore from Lynn, Massachusetts, out of Laurinburg Prep.
Very athletic player. Speaking of athletic.
Budinger missing, knocked free, and Allen gets it in the middle of the floor. He's their point guard now. Gets it over to Jeremy Hunt. Hunt sneaks past Williams, and dunking the ball is Kareem Cooper. Boy, Memphis offense really has been very sharp the last 2 minutes.
Well, that's what the offense is. They want layup for 3-point shots, and it's all about drive, draw, and kick to the open teammate.
Jawan McClellan wide open from about 18. He misses. Rudinovich tried to tap it to himself, but instead the Tigers rip it away, and it's Robert Dozier. Oh, Memphis is hot, and let's see if Coach Olson wants a timeout.
And again, that's their game. They want to push the ball up the floor. Again, they want Arizona to have to go deep into their bench. Memphis 50% from the 3-point line. Wildcats yet to take what's beyond the arc, but this is the style they play. They'll shoot 33-pointers and not blink.
Williams, oh, what a great catch and drop off the glass, and that's playing with 2 fouls, and Olson's trying to get him out of the game, but they have not been able to stop the clock. He's got Daniel Dillion at the scorer's table. Jeremy Hunt, well, he's come off the bench and played very well.
That's a nice in-between floater. Baseline take by Jeremy Hunt, and Chris.
Oh, that's back-to-back acrobatics.
Terrific body control by the players out here on the floor. Bad decision by Allen.
Shakur, he's playing a fast pace, and he throws it up and misses, and
that's bad decision back at you. It's a bad decision back-to-back. Yeah. Andre Allen, then Mustafa Shakur.
Anderson missing the dunk. McClellan gets the basketball. We are seeing some fast and furious action here at the McHale Center. It's Rudinovich with his first bucket of the night, and Ivan came in averaging over 17.
And there was an assisted basket, but once again, this is the pace that Memphis wants to play at. The question for the Wildcats Arizona is, do they have the depth or the conditioning to be able to withstand this? Again, and playing this 2-3 zone will help conserve some of that energy. You're not chasing these guys around the 3-point line.
Hunt with the right hand up. Beauty.
He is really coming on.
Jeremy Hunt, 6'5" senior, Memphis Craig Mount High School. Williams with the fade, no good. And there's Radinovich with the pickup. That's twice now. Radinovich has picked up his teammates.
First saw him in December about 3 years ago. He's an entirely different player today. Before it was all outside jump shots. He came in just shoot the ball. Teammates with Salim Stoudemire kind of looking at him like, why are you shooting so much? But now he does his job both inside and outside.
Allen. No, I'm sorry. That's Andre Allen. I wanted to look down and say, Allen doesn't shoot that many threes.
Who are these guys? I mean, for the season, 29%. But again, as I mentioned, I was kind of being halfway in jest. They're a streaky team, and right now it's a good streak.
Andre Allen came in hitting 3 of 17 3-point shots. He's made both of his threes in this contest early.
That's streaky. You make one, you miss about 7 or 8. You make another one, you miss about 6 or 7, then you make another one.
Hunt on the floor with Anderson, Kareem Cooper, Andre Allen.
They always want to attack the zone through the middle. I'm not so sure that's the shot they want. Kareem Cooper shooting a 17-footer.
Goes and stepped on the end line and turns it over. We have time on the floor. 10 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the first half. Mustafa Shakur, the great one from Philadelphia, taking it to the hoop. And Jeremy Hunt with early success, 7 points. 2 years ago, Jeremy Hunt tore up his knee in the NIT, and he worked hard to come back. He's one of their top scorers coming off the bench.
Yeah, does a great job in this game in particular, knocking down the open shots, taking the ball to the rack, and he gives them so much of a spark score in the basketball coming off the bench. What a luxury to have.
And he is 4 for 4 in the first half. He already has his degree in University College African American Studies, and he's getting his second degree in communications. It goes back to what you're talking about, John Calipari's emphasis on the seniors getting their degrees.
Yeah, I mentioned it. 12 of 15 seniors for Coach Cal have received it. And he also encourages guys who have gone away from Memphis to come back, like an Anthony Hardaway and Bobby Hurt and some of these guys come back, or Bobby Parks come back and get your degree, and they have done so, taking them up on that challenge.
Meantime, Joey Dorsey coming back on the floor and now playing with 2 fouls. Marcus Williams on the bench. Daniel Dillon on the floor for Arizona, and Radinovich gets called for the personal foul, his first personal.
Good job plugging up the middle on the part of the Memphis defenders. And Joey Dorsey's got to stay away from that third foul. Ivan Radinovich does a good job. I mean, that's a nice take on his part. Just great defensive rotation to help out a teammate in trouble by Andre Allen. We got a kid out here, freshman Jordan Hill, Steve, 6'9", 215, out of Georgia, who I think is going to really help this Arizona team off the bench in terms of shot blocking and interior offensive rebounding skills.
He comes out on the defense, and here's Allen way out top, and that's a double dribble, and it was Hill who forced the pressure and had him stop, catch it, and then continue the dribble. So that's the 6th turnover on Memphis in the first half.
Yeah, nice job hedging, jumping on the ball screen by Jordan Hill, and he's not going to give you a whole lot in terms of polished moves. He's only played 2 years of organized basketball, but he is raw. He's athletic. He said he reminds him of Anthony Cook, who played for him a few years back in the late 80s.
Mustafa Shakur, and Arizona has their first 3 of the game, and pull within 3 of Memphis.
That's what happens to Mustafa when you allow the game to come to you. He's taken 1 4 shot, and pretty much he's played under control and has concentrated on running his ball club. So penetrate dish, and then attack the rack.
Memphis does that. They come up empty, but grabbing the miss is Joey Dorsey. And there is a travel. Memphis, their 7th turnover.
That's a break for Joey Dorsey because he would have picked up his 3rd foul. That was close to being an offensive foul. And he's another guy who does a great job in terms of power underneath. He's raw, he's athletic, but he needs to learn how to do a little bit better job of finishing inside. Right here, just kind of puts his head down like a bull in a China shop, just runs over Mustafa Shakur. But no offensive foul. That was a traveling violation, so that's a break.
Nice speed by Radinovich, but thrown up and away by Daniel Dillon, and Memphis comes up with it into the hands of Antonio Anderson.
I mean, Memphis it's hard keeping up with these guys, because they've got about 4 or 5 guys who are all about 6'6", who all handle the ball exceptionally, all do a good job of knocking down the outside shot. And here's the guy who can create his own shot, Chris Douglas Roberts.
Chris Douglas Roberts misses. Radinovich rebounds. He wants some help and now pumps it into the forecourt, and Daniel Dillon. Memphis has been almost entirely man defense. They have the depth to do that, and also to pressure your full court.
And John Calipari says he wants to play at least 8, maybe 9, 10 guys on a regular basis in his rotation. And in order to do that, you got to go all out on defense, give everything you got, leave it on the floor.
Shakur. Long. McClellan tried to grab the rebound. Instead, it was ripped away by Anderson. Memphis scoreless the last 3 minutes.
Now Daniel Dillon defending Chris Devers-Roberts. He is the best on-ball defender from the wing position for the Wildcats.
Dozier, was that a travel? No, 3-second violation. And when we come back, we'll take a look at Hall of Fame coach Lute Olson. Well, that Wildcat has been smiling ever since Lute Olson came to the desert, and he has brought nothing but success to Tucson, Arizona, and this great university. 769 career wins, and that's just 110 shy of Dean Smith all-time. He went to the Hall of Fame in 2002. That 97 national championship was his zenith, and he has more wins in Pac-10 history than the guy who passed last year, your old coach, the Wizard of Westwood.
And talking about wins, I mean, let's talk about losses. He averages 1.5 losses per season over those past 24 years here at McHale. That's just an incredible stat.
Jordan Hill gets fouled as he takes it to the hoop. Buttinger missed, and Hill really battled Memphis for the rebound, won it, and now he will be at the free throw line.
Jordan, I talked about his just raw athleticism and hustle on the inside there, just uses the long arms, the quickness to the ball to beat Kareem Cooper inside and then draws the contact inside. The Patterson School played for Chris Chaney, who coached at Laurinburg Prep, who coached Kareem Cooper when he was at prep school at Laurinburg Prep in North Carolina. So there's your 4 or 5 degrees of separation, maybe 2.
You need just one more. Here comes Memphis. We come to you from McHale Center in Tucson, Arizona. It's number 18 Memphis and number 9 Arizona. Steve Physiak, Marcus Johnson with you, and the Tigers taking it in. And a beautiful drive by Jeremy Hunt, who now has 12 points to lead all scorers, half of his team's point, and he didn't even start the game.
Dustin Hoffman, the graduate. Jeremy Hunt, that's just a nice job of taking over the offense in this game. And for Arizona, they've got 3 guys who produced the bulk of their points. Now forward, Jordan Hill's free throw.
Arizona turns it over. And this time it's Willie Kemp, and Memphis opening it up with a 7-point edge. Daniel Dillon is bumped. No basket.
Foul is on 14. Chris Devers-Roberts. His first 15 foul. Mustafa Shakur.
Again from the McHale Center, Arizona making some changes, bringing in Nick Wise at point guard and Brett Brielmeyer as the new forward. Chase Buttinger, freshman, gives it off to Mustafa Shakur. Buttinger still hasn't scored.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got to find a way to get himself involved in this game. Here's one way.
This time it rims out. Brielmeyer with a nice rebound and pumps it out to point guard Nick Wise. Brielmeyer, he's the man who's fighting inside. And let's see, it'll still be Wildcat basketball. And I'm wondering if Arizona thought Nick took that shot a little bit too quickly.
Well, we talked with Lute this morning at their shoot-around, and I said he's not bashful. He'll come in there and put shots up, good shots, bad shots, in between shots. And Lute doesn't really seem to mind too much. He talked about getting him a video of Damon Stoudemire so he can learn some of his rocker kind of separation moves to get his offensive game off a little bit more efficiently.
Well, Shakur's back in the game as well, and it's Wise and Shakur in the backcourt, and here goes Hunt to the glass, and he'll miss the shot. That was 1-on-4. Hunt's first miss of the game. He's 5 for 6 now from the floor, and there is Shakur on the wraparound of beauty at the 6-minute mark, and it's Arizona trying to come back on the Memphis Tigers.
Yeah, and Mustafa just kind of taking what's available.
Douglas Roberts missing. Jordan Hill rebounding. Outlet Shakur. Shakur had it knocked away, and a pretty block by Kareem Cooper with the left hand. Roberts knocks down Budinger. The crowd wanted a charge. No foul call.
And Luke's got both hands on his head. You can't believe it, but you know, it was an obvious. I wouldn't say an obvious flop. I don't know if there was enough contact that would explain the reaction from Chase Budinger when he got hit, and these aren't Paxson officials.
Budinger counts the basket, his first field goal of the night, and now a chance for three.
And they want Chase Budinger to be more assertive at the offensive end. There he gets good position, and you know, there was a little bit of a shoulder bump, not a whole lot of contact. I like the non-call. I mean, you know, it wasn't like he just kind of barreled right over Chase. I mean, Chase was you're taught to give and to go down when you're hit, any kind of contact is made. And here's some of that smooth operator, Chase Budinger, that I talked about in the open. I mean, he does his job so efficiently, but he's a quiet scorer.
It almost seemed like he set up the defense by taking, even though he missed those last two outside shots, kind of gave a little pump and then drove to his left.
A great story about Chase Budinger. David Bagga and Chase were in the mall the other day, and someone came up to get Chase Budinger's autograph. And Chase said, well, I'll only give you my autograph if you get David's autograph. And that gives you an idea of just how humble he is and why he has fit into this collection of upperclassmen and sophomores so well with this Arizona Wildcat team.
Yeah, Lute Olson said it has been a fun team to coach. It is more of a team than the I mentality that they've had recently.
And Arizona back into their zone defense. Kind of started out with a 1-3-1 look. Now they fall back into almost a 3-2 with three guys really doing a good job protecting the three-point line.
Marcus Williams back in the game playing with 2 fouls. He'll stay in that zone. Try to get the ball to Dorsey. Shot clock winding down. A steal by Shakur. Mustafa with the pull-up. Now he backs away and sets it off to Williams. Williams on the drive. Yes!
Mustafa Shakur made that happen. I mean, last year, Mustafa Shakur would have put his head down, forced up, just a crazy shot from the left side. This time he pulled it back out, fouled it over Marcus Williams, and Marcus did the rest.
5-0 run by the Wildcats.
That's what Arizona's known for, especially here at home. I mean, they can go on some crazy runs and just put you away, put you to sleep.
Willie Kemp misses the floater, but right there to pick him up. Joey Dorsey, the junior from Baltimore, Maryland. Boy, he is a load inside.
He's a man. Mean and nasty. M-A-N. Takes up a lot of space. He's quick off his feet. Strong upper body.
And a beautiful steal by Andre Allen. Dorsey finishes.
And these are not your Pac-10 officials that we are used to. As Andre Allen just took the bowling ball approach with Mustafa Shakur being the pin and sent him into the third row. Missed the shot with Joey Dorsey. Nice job, not assuming that the layup was going to be made.
For Dorsey, that is his 6th offensive rebound, and we're still in the first half.
A lot of success from Memphis when Joey Dorsey gets double-figure rebounds.
Marcus Williams, long. Jordan Hill tried for the rebound, and a whistle and a foul will be called against Memphis. Looks like Anderson gets the personal. Timeout on the floor. Andre Allen leading Memphis to a 33-27 lead. Memphis has a 6-point lead over the Arizona Wildcats, and Coach Lute Olson a little concerned about some of the offensive charges that have not been called on Memphis.
And that one I thought was an okay no call. There's some contact. It's got to be contact. It's a contact sport. Now that one I thought was an obvious offensive foul as Andre Allen just bogarted Mustafa Shakur out of the way, and you can see Lute Olson's like, you know, who are you guys? What conference are you? You know, the NFL? Where, you know, what's contact you let go on out here?
But I have to believe it really pleases Coach John Calipari, because talking to him at practice today, he wanted to see a toughness, a chip on the shoulder mentality. He said last year's team, even when they were down, they just knew they were going to win. They went 33-4. He said this year's team still is a work in progress on the confidence, the self-esteem issue.
A team searching for an identity, and that's going to happen whenever you lose guys like Rodney Carney and Sean Williams and Darius Washington. two high caliber players, and Sean Williams and Darius Washington, according to the coaching staff, being two of the more tough-minded players that they had in the program. Little curl action by Jawan McClellan. Gets clipped from the side, but that's kind of Arizona's staple offense from last year, working their wings off the post. They haven't done as much of that this year because they have a bunch of guys that can create from the outside, so they're more 4 out and 1 in. But when you've got Jordan Hill and Ivan Radinovich on the floor, now it makes more sense to go double post.
That's the first point for Jawan McClellan, and he came in. One of their top scorers is just under 14 points per game. He has been really held down from the field. They have limited any ability to get open from three-point range.
He's got, for his career, just some buzzard's luck. I mean, just injuries and tragedies happening, and now his knees are bothering him to the point where he plays, on the game days and practices 1 day a week. But he's given him some production now, over 13 points a game, some toughness inside on defense, some rebounding. Arizona, again, back in their 1-3-1 zone with an eye toward protecting the perimeter.
Memphis missing. They're settling for the outside shots. Here is Jawan McClellan, and he hits the right side.
He's another guy who's streaky. He starts getting on a roll. He gets more aggressive.
And Arizona has cut that Memphis lead to 2 at 33-31.
That's down again by Mustafa, the chosen one. Shakur running the fast break in transition. A little no-look, underhanded shovel pass to Jawan McClellan on the right wing. And that's a great job. And Lou also likes to talk about ball in the air, you in the air, to get yourself prepared to catch and shoot quickly. And Jawan McClellan does it as well as anybody in this program.
I remember when Mustafa Shakur was a freshman and Lute Olson stopped practice and said, Mustafa, make sure you give it to your wings when they are ready to shoot. You don't want to give it to them too early or too late, and that was a classic example of giving the ball up when McClellan was ready to let it rip.
But he didn't say it nowhere nearly as calmly as you just did. Yeah. There was a different inflection in his voice when he was telling Mustafa to give it up to the guy that's open on the wing.
Well, there's a disparity from the foul line. Arizona's taken 8 foul shots, and Memphis has not taken any, but because they're settling for the perimeter game, but the perimeter game is working tonight.
I mean, that's Andre Allen. Andre Allen, your boy, the guy that is really not supposed to shoot that shot, you would think, according to the scouting report, but that's his, third three-pointer?
He was 3 for 17 coming in. He's 3 for 3 in this game. Every time he shoots outside a goal, I looked at him, was that Andre? No.
He's streaky. He misses 14 out of 17. Now he makes 3 in a row.
Jordan Hill comes out. Mohamed Tangara comes in for the first time. Sophomore from Mali.
He's a glass eater. Mohamed Tangara doing a good job rebounding the ball, getting some offensive rebounds, blocking shots. Oh,
he's got double figures already. 13 for Mustafa. This is a guy who struggled to finish shots earlier.
Well, he went to the NBA tryouts down in Orlando, tested the waters, and the waters were real cold. Real cold to him. They told him he needed a lot of work on just running the club, taking better shots, and he's done that.
McClellan dives on the floor along with Chris Douglas-Roberts, and they're tying up. There's a hell ball situation, and it will be Arizona basketball, and the Wildcats can tie it with a 3.
Yeah, and one of our keys to the game, Steve, was handling pressure. And I'm not talking full court man-to-man pressure. This is pressure out of a zone defense. Arizona's very active and aggressive in their zone defense, doing a good job deflecting the pass, and McClellan diving on the floor. Remember, this Memphis team had 23 turnovers against Austin Peay last week.
Shakur in the forecourt. McClellan has it knocked away, still 12 on the shot clock. And that's an offensive foul. Calipari loves the call. Olson can't believe it because he wasn't getting the call, he believes, at his end of the floor.
Andre Allen just bowled Mustafa Shakur out of the way. And then Andre Allen right there. I mean, that's good. It's a good call. I mean, you look at the left arm of Mustafa Shakur. Tough to see from that. And you can see the end of it there. I mean, he kind of pushes him off with that left forearm, which draws the offensive foul against him. But based on the contact that's going on in this game, I'm not sure.
McClellan rebounds Dozier's miss. They have not been able to finish those drives. It's almost like they're caught in between, and they're not getting the great extension, the great hops.
Yeah, I think the knees had something to do with that with Juwan McClellan.
Yeah, he had knee surgery at the end of last year, had knee surgery in high school, and sometimes they will have him play. He probably will not practice tomorrow because of those injuries. And coming up on our Acura halftime report, we'll have a preview of that LSU-Washington game, which will be at Dandy in Seattle. First half highlights and stats.
Big Baby makes his trek up through the Northwest. Kind of a Baton Rouge version of Sasquatch. Occasions get Sasquatch.
Hunt has it knocked away. On the held ball, the possession arrow says it'll be the Tigers basketball. They'll get it with 38.4 seconds left. And Calipari screaming to his team, shot clock. Recognize there's 11 seconds left in the shot clock, fellas. Right now 15. They send it back to 15.
And talking about that LSU-Washington game, Lorenzo Romar, I mean, a lot of people are getting on him for not continuing with the Gonzaga series. But you think about their schedule next year. They'll be in the preseason NIT. They go back to LSU to return this game. They play Pitt at home. They'll probably travel to Texas A&M. He's going to play. He wants the series to continue, but he wants things to kind of loosen up a little bit in his schedule before it does.
Andre Allen misses the three, but did Radinovich foul him? If Radinovich fouled him, that's 3 shots for Andre Allen.
The Cardinal no-no defensively, especially when Andre Allen's knocked down 3 in a row up until that shot.
Andre Allen is just 2 points shy of a career high. He's done that a couple of times, scored 11, but he is mainly a pass-first player.
He's just a spark. He's an energizer. He comes in, plays great on-ball defense. He dives all over the floor. He gets up in you. He picks up offensive fouls, and then it's an added bonus when he can come in and knock down 3 or 4 field goals and get into double figures before halftime.
For Arizona, 2 fouls on Williams and 2 fouls on Radinovich. So right now Radinovich will stay on the floor, but they do want to see him pick up his 3rd. They want him for his offense. Buttinger comes back in.
I tried to involve Yvonne in some kind of pick and pop type situation to get him another look at the basket since he's going to be on the floor.
Meantime, Andre Allen has already tied his career high with 11 points, and we're just in the first half here at Arizona against the number 9 team in the nation.
Andre erupting for 10 points.
Well, Marcus, college football's greatest bowl games come to Fox, beginning with the AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic, followed by the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, the FedEx Orange Bowl, the Allstate Sugar Bowl, and concluding with the Tostitos BCS National Championship game between Florida and Ohio State. The BCS Bowl Bash comes to Fox beginning on New Year's Day. We've got it for you. Meantime, the Associated Press Top 10. UCLA of the Pac-10 Conference, number 1 in the nation. North Carolina is number 2. And it's interesting when you look throughout in the polls, the top 25, the Pac-10 has 4 in the top 25. The Big East has the most 5, but remember, they have 16 teams in their league.
Wisconsin, the highest ranking in their history, but in the RPI rankings, Arizona, UCLA, 1, 2.
Allen coming out on Shakur.
Still going to spread it out, wait for about 10 seconds to make his move, try and beat Andre Allen off the dribble, draw a defender, and hopefully hit an open shooter. Here's that pick and pop I was talking about with Ivan Radinovich.
Just got 3 seconds left. McClellan pulls the trigger, and it will not go. And Memphis, with a marvelous first half, takes a 38-33 lead on the road here at the McHale Center in Tucson, Arizona. The Acura halftime report will be coming up, and we'll be featuring our second half of our doubleheader with LSU getting ready to take on the Washington Huskies. Right now, it's Memphis by 5 over the Wildcats. NBA representatives here, Danny Ainge, B.J. Armstrong, and others. When you've got talent like Memphis and Arizona has, it brings out the big wigs to check out the talent that they may want to see at that next level.
one-stop shopping. I mean, you get to see a bunch of athletic players from Memphis. You get to see Ivan Zadinovich and some of these guys from Arizona.
And the Dillards' leading scorers, Hunt and Allen, have combined for 23 of the team's 38 points. Shakur leading Arizona, but the guys we featured in the open, Budinger, Douglas Roberts, combined for 2 for 9 from the floor, only 5 points combined. 3 by Budinger, 2 by Douglas Roberts. Remember, Douglas Roberts a bit under the weather. I'm not sure if it's cold or the flu, but he was suffering before the game.
And they need Budinger to be a lot more assertive, aggressive, shooting the basketball, looking for his own shot. Nice dime.
But they threw him off a little bump, threw off McClellan, and he misses his shot.
Yeah, but, you know, you got to finish that off. That's a beautiful pass by Chase Budinger and a nice cut by Dewan McClellan, and you got to expect contact and finish the play.
Arizona will open the second half in the zone out top at Shakur with McClellan, Radinovich, Williams, and Budinger.
It's an ever-changing 2-3 zone. Looks more like a 1-3-1 on this possession. Sometimes it looks like a 3-2.
Here's Dozier from the corner, misses the 3, and McClellan grabs the rebound. Memphis second half, Dozier, Dorsey, Kemp, Anderson, and Douglas Roberts. They swing at the corner. Budinger, slip 3.
There he is, Chase Budinger. Nice job, got his feet set. Great find on the skip pass from side to side. There's Chase Budinger, nice steal, nice outlet.
And Shakur bounces it ahead. That's a highlight reel.
See, that's the kind of contribution you want from Chase Budinger. That's what we expected, Steve.
I mean, it was complete. The steal, the outlet, the great pass from Shakur, and the finish by McClellan. And Arizona has tied it. Chase Budinger leading the way, and Arizona has the game's first tie. Their last lead was 4-2, but here it is. Budinger hitting the 3, and then on the other end, they got it done as well.
And this is off a steal by Budinger, a quick outlet to Mustafa Shakur, who finds a streaking Dewan McClellan for the easy finish. With that play also created by Budinger, who also threaded the needle to Dewan McClellan on the first possession, but McClellan drew the layup, so he's active.
And this might be why John Calipari called the timeout. Arizona is known for their streaks. You saw a 25-0 run against New Mexico State. They outscored Louisville over one stretch. A good Louisville team, 20-2. So a 5-0 run to open the second half. Willie Kemp, the point guard, flips it, tries to go to the corner, and instead it gets it into the hands of Douglas Roberts, who finishes nicely and puts Memphis ahead, up by 2.
It's still a lot more aggressiveness. Great job of coverage and contesting the three-point line by Arizona. That ball was deflected, just came right to Chris Douglas Roberts.
Budinger, he'll be at the line for 2 shots, trying to tie it again.
I suspect Coach O had a little bit of a talk with young Mr. Budinger in the locker room, and
I think it was game 2 that I heard where he called him aside in the locker room at halftime and said, "Young man, you've got to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
You may be a freshman, but we need you to take more shots."
And it's so against his personality, which is difficult to come out of my mouth when I average over 30 points a game in high school. But you talk to him and you see what kind of an unassuming kind of a guy he is. He doesn't want all the attention, all the hype, all the interviews. He knows it's part of the process. And Luke Olson and some others have called him the best recruit in the history of Arizona basketball, which says a whole lot.
And they're bringing in the top star next year, Jared Bayless out of Phoenix St. Mary's, one of the top point guards in the country. And Budinger again ties it at 40. They've got Andre Allen back on the floor. He had a terrific first half, tying his career high with 11 points, hitting 3 shots from three-point range.
The big key in this defensive alignment, Marcus Webb. He's got to not only deny the post pass, but he's got to run corner to corner in this 1-3-1 zone with him being the back guy.
Allen driving, kicking it out. Hunt fakes the 3, drives inside, and Douglas Roberts only has 5 in the shot clock with the left hand. Is a beauty.
That's great Memphis-style basketball. It's all about penetrating, drawing defenders, kicking it to open shooters. That time Chris Douglas Roberts didn't settle for the jump shot. Put it on the floor hard, got to the basket. But you're going to see the penetration here. You draw the defense inside. Nice job making the extra pass. Again, more penetration. Ball fake, drive, kick. Little ball fake there, drive, shot, left-handed Chris Douglas Roberts. That's Memphis-style basketball with the 3 guards doing a great job playing off each other.
McClellan with a charge on the other end, and a miss from this 3-pointer by Jeremy Hunt. What a brilliant first half. Shakur kicking it up to Radinovich, and they say, count the basket, and into blocking foul against the defense.
Just a little slow getting himself set. But once again, the maestro, Mustafa, running the fast break, a little shovel scoop number in the back. As I remember, Zinovich tells him that I'm threading the play, Does a great job locating, and the defender, Andre Allen, just gets there a little late to get set. But last year, again, Mustafa Shakur might have tried any number of crazy trickery in terms of shots going to the basket on a play like that. But that time he saw Ivan Radinovic all the way down the floor.
Arizona with their first lead since they were up 4-2. Allen, Hunt in the backcourt. Dozier, Douglas Roberts on that front line to go with Kareem Cooper. Joey Dorsey.
And then Marcus Williams again the key. There he is on the right side, protecting the corner jump shot.
Allen misses the three. Dorsey rebounds. That's his 7th offensive rebound of the night. He has been a bull inside.
He's alone. I mean, it's easy to say, well, Ivan Radinovic has got to box him out. But, I mean, he is a tough physical specimen attacking the offensive glass. And he's quick off his feet. He's got long arms. And it's a tough matchup, but Ivan has got to step up to the challenge.
Shakur kicks it out. Radinovic. Shot by Radinovic, counted, a chance for 3.
And, I'm watching B.J. Armstrong is taking special note along with Danny Ainge and some of these NBA scouts that are here. We're talking about a 6'10", 250-pound center, putting it on the floor, showing great body control, locating the angle on the glass, withstanding the contact inside, and finishing off the play. And then they can step out and knock down 3-pointers. Is an excellent free throw shooter, solid defender inside.
And he is now the 41st player to score 1,000 points in Arizona history. Congratulations to Ivan Radinovic, needed 12. Radinovic and Buninger have scored 11, Arizona's 13 in the second half, and it's the Wildcats by 2 over the Tigers.
And Mustafa Shakur led him in scoring at halftime, but you don't want him to lead this team in scoring with all the offensive weaponry you have on the floor. And again, the aggressive intensity defensively for Arizona pays off.
12th turnover for John Calipari's Tigers. That hurt them last year. And here's Radinovic with a 3-point play and putting the Cats up by 2. Arizona trailed by 5 at the break. They now lead by 2. And on New Year's Eve, ACC Sunday Night Hoops returns with a doubleheader beginning with San Jose State battling 6th-ranked Duke. And then Dayton takes on 2nd-ranked North Carolina. Coverage begins December 31st with the college basketball tip-off show at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific, right here on FSN. John Calipari was talking about Arizona. He said if they didn't lose that game to Virginia, they would be number 2 in the nation. He said they are an outstanding program. And if Mustafa Shakur, he said, did not get into late foul trouble, they run away from the Cavaliers. That's their only loss. They've won 8 straight since, Marcus.
Yeah, you see the field goals. Wildcats picking up their efficiency.
Nice. Budinger, more aggressive in the second half.
Yeah, that's a good job posting up a bigger player inside. And Chase Budinger got a couple things going for him. He's got great hands, soft hands. He catches difficult passes. And as a volleyball player, and he's got the pogo sticks for legs. He just bounces, catch and bounce, boing up and down.
He was the national high school volleyball player of the year. There's a great tip in by Memphis, and they have again cut it to 2 at 48-46. Give the bucket to Dozier, Robert Dozier.
And Arizona's got to do a better job. Now, that was Dozier. That wasn't Kareem Cooper or Joey Dorsey, one of the big behemoths. That was Robert Dozier. You got to bounce him off the board.
Boy, has this guy Shakur changed his style of shooting. He had a weird rotation when he came from Philadelphia, and the coaching staff of Arizona have really worked hard with him to correct it. And he's made himself a good shooter here in his senior year.
And trust me, the scouts are taking notice. I mean, I see B.J. Armstrong kind of jotting down some notes in his little notebook. Okay, improved his shot. No longer a medicine ball jump shot where he looks like he's throwing a medicine ball up. Okay. See, he just put his notebook back in his pocket.
There's B.J., pretty good point guard for the Bulls. See, there it is.
Yeah, right. Except they use it's new technology. Yeah, it's no longer the old notepads like they used back in my day.
I like those notepads. Come on.
But again, go 1-3-1 zone. Marcus Williams actually more of a 2-3 zone, so not as long of a run for Marcus Williams. You stay mainly on the left side of the floor playing defense, but you got to protect the three-point line against these guys.
Budinger tries for the rebound, wins it in the corner, flips it to Shakur, who made himself available. That's an offensive foul, and that's a third foul on Marcus Williams.
That's good defense. Jeremy Hunt did a nice job. Marcus trying to show and go, kind of caught it at the three-point line, a little bit of a ball fake. But Hunt with good lateral quickness to cut him off, pick up the offensive foul.
Do you get the feeling that Marcus Williams is more interested in driving than staying because of the wrist problem?
Yeah, without question. After he injured that wrist against Houston, his next 7 field goals were inside. But here's Mustafa, nice job with the kick. And now the fans are saying, well, he's still moving. You can still move and pick up an offensive foul if you've got proper defensive position on your offensive driver.
He's the only player in this game with 3 personal fouls. Jeremy Hunt had the big first half.
When you go into this zone, you stop allowing the draw and kick, drive and kick basketball.
Traveling call on Douglas Roberts. Lute Olson just screamed at the official. 4 bad calls. Calipari, he wants his team to hang in there. He knows Arizona so dangerous at getting in those runs.
And Chris Douglas Roberts is obviously feeling the effects of whatever virus is affecting him. He's just kind of lumbering to get around the floor.
Williams, no. We are at the McHale Center in Tucson, Arizona. Steve Biziak with Marcus Johnson. Number 9, Arizona with a 5-point lead over the Memphis Tigers. That is their biggest advantage after they trailed by 5 at halftime. Williams with the pull-up. That's his first outside shot, and he missed it badly.
Not even close. You got to believe that right wrist really affected Marcus Williams.
Williams gets it, and they've got a free-for-all. Shakur throws it down, and Arizona has their biggest advantage at 53-46.
Coach Cal not liking what he's seeing, but you talked about it, Steve. Whenever this team puts their mind to playing defense, Arizona, they become so dangerous right now. 20-8 run, or have outscored Memphis 20-8 in this half so far.
And that is what they're so famous for.
And who's in the middle of it? Chase Budinger is the guy breaking up the intended feed on the inside, and that knocks the ball loose, creates the fast break chance for Arizona.
And again, our Pac-10 basketball doubleheader continues after our game when the 12th-ranked LSU Tigers battled the 17th-ranked Washington Huskies in an early season non-conference showdown between 2 national powers. And we've got to congratulate the guy who does the scheduling, Jeremy Langer. He's the guy who came up with this excellent doubleheader. Arizona and Memphis, followed by LSU and Washington. Got good hoops on FSN.
Just covering, just blanketing the country. Southwest, South, Northwest.
And SEC and Conference USA being welcomed by Pac-10 foes. You were talking about defense. Arizona has limited 3 very good teams, Illinois, Louisville, and San Diego State, to an average of 62 points per game recently, and those teams only shot 40%. Memphis is a little over 43 in this game, and here's Budinger missing. McCullen tries for the tap. Williams wins it, and they'll restart the offense.
You keep those teams in the 60s that you mentioned with the style of play of Arizona, a team that averages in the upper 80s in terms of points a game.
And there's a foul on Dorsey. That will be his 4th personal foul. He's had 2 quick ones here.
That's a great move by Radinovich. I mean, it's very simple, man. Just kind of turn, face up. You show the jump shot. You get your defender up in the air, and no reason for a complaint from Joey Dorsey as he's all over the arms of Radinovich because he was clearly beaten off the dribble.
An 8-10 game for Joey Dorsey, who's been a man on the offensive glass. That's where he's been getting most of his points, but now suffering 4 fouls. And he will come out of the game.
Kareem Cooper, the big guy coming in for him, looks like a younger version of John Thompson, the former Georgetown coach, but he's averaging 10 points a game in 16 minutes game. Now, he's just played a couple of games after he came back from his suspension, but he's a guy you got to keep an eye on if you're Arizona. He's very strong, physical, quick off his feet, lefty.
Arizona was down by as many as 9. Now they have a 9-point lead as Radinovich in the second half has 8 of his 14 points. And look at the free throw differential. And it's not because of the calls the officials are from Conference USA, but Memphis is settling for the perimeter game while Arizona taking it inside. There's another three attempt, and Jeremy Hunt misses. Shakur gets it, a 3-on-1 break, and Arizona turns it over. A little too much mustard on that pass.
And that's the thing with Memphis in terms of being streaky. I mean, they were 6 for 11 in the first half from the three-point line. They had the 5-point lead, so it's all good. Now all of a sudden your outside shooting has gone cold. Where do you go for points, especially against this 1-3-1 zone? And as I mentioned, Dozier is a good inside player. Kareem Cooper is a guy who can get you something in the middle of the paint against this 1-3-1 zone.
Memphis 0 for 7 in the second half from three-point range, but they've taken 18 to Arizona's 7. And finally they go inside and they get some help from Kareem Cooper.
That's a big guy right there. I mean, he takes up so much space inside. He's the wide body, terrific touch on his shot inside. And the only question with him was attitude, and he seems to have gotten that together after coming back from his suspension. But he's 6'11", 290.
Williams has it blocked by Dozier, and a foul is called against Robert. That is his third personal foul, so 2 important forwards. Dozier has 3. Dorsey has 4.
Marcus Williams, again, you talked about that. You see both wrists are taped up, so he's got the left wrist hurt, the right wrist hurt, which means he's not going to be as aggressive shooting outside jumpers, so he's got to continue to focus on doing his work inside, playing good D, rebounding the basketball, being a facilitator in terms of assist and letting the offense run through him.
He is a really special player. He and Martell Webster were the 2 top seniors in high school coming out of Seattle. Martell chose the NBA. Marcus said, I'm going to go to Arizona. And he has had, well, 1.5 really special times. Free throw attempts. Arizona 14 because they're taking it inside. Memphis only has 3 free throw attempts.
That's what Memphis has got to do. They've got to take it inside. Kareem Cooper can get you something on the inside.
They double Cooper.
Allen should look right back inside. They double, kick it back out, let him repost, kick it back in again.
Allen from the corner. Not this time. He was 3 for 3 from three-point range, but there is the big guy Cooper, who has helped his team out the last 2 trips down the floor and cuts the Arizona lead to just 6.
Credit Jeremy Hunt does a great job just being active on the offensive glass, keeping the basketball alive.
Radinovich. Long. Tigers running it out. Jeremy Hunt on the drive. The floater, yes!
Oh, that teardrop is beautiful. Jeremy Hunt, little show. Raise the defender up as he's approaching on the wing off the dribble, and then just puts his shoulder down, blows by, and gets the teardrop up and over Ivan Radinovich.
6 straight points by Memphis.
It's just great individual skills basketball.
Budinger, no, grabs the rebound, takes it back up, and he will wind up at the free throw line for 2 shots.
You see how quick he is off his feet. I mean, he missed that first shot. He beat everyone in blue shirts to the basketball for that second attempt.
Pac-10 Player of the Week in late November, one of the outstanding freshmen in college basketball. Jeremy Hunt, though, on a nice run for Memphis. They close to within 4 of Arizona. Arizona with a 56-52 lead over Memphis. The Pac-10 much improved, maybe because of the surprise team in the conference and our U.S. Pac-10, U.S. Bank Pac-10 Player of the Week from Oregon, Bryce Taylor. They're 10-0. He's been strong.
Oh man, he's done a great job. Not just settling for the jump shot. He's recommitted himself to basketball. The first step, cut off that wild afro. Get serious about the game. But Aaron Brooks is playing great. Malik Harrison playing great. But Bryce Taylor doing a great job. A big reason why this team is off to one of their best starts in years.
Meantime, for Memphis, they are in foul trouble. Dozier with his 4th foul. Dorsey also has 4. And here's Budinger to up that lead for Arizona.
And Budinger just real quiet at halftime. Just 1 for 4 from the field. Chase Budinger at halftime, just 3 points. But now, you know, he's working on like point number 12. Just slowly, quietly creeping up on you.
And I'm sure he got an earful from Lute Olson about be more aggressive in a smart way. They stay in that zone. It's a 2-3 with Radinovich in the middle. Budinger, Shakur out top.
That's a lot better. You got a great 3-point shooting team in that 1-3-1. You put a lot of pressure on that back line defender, which was Marcus Williams, to cover corner to corner.
It seems like they're a little greater length on the wings with Shakur now Budinger out top, and that's limited their three-point shooting. They are 0 for 8, Memphis is, in the second half.
Yeah, and just being more aware of that. I mean, the coaches look at the stat sheet. They see Memphis 29% three-point shooting team. You watch the tape, you know they're streaky, so we're going to see what they're going to bring to the court tonight. Well, they brought 6 for 11, 55% in the first half.
Marcus Williams has to come out of the game, Marcus, because he just picked up his 4th foul. So Williams with 4, and for Memphis, Dozier and Dorsey each have 4.
Daniel Dillon replacing Marcus Williams is a terrific on-ball defender. Now he's going to be a guy that's got to contest on the three-point shots, but he's an improved outside shooter. Wouldn't surprise me to see him knock down an open three-pointer or 2 here in this game.
Yeah, he hit 2 trays right in a row against UNLV in a win. There's McClellan.
The scouting report says let him shoot. So you know, a lot of times he's going to get some open looks on the outside, especially with the other guys on the floor.
Shakur looking for that dribble penetration, kicks it out to Dillon, and he'll miss the 3. There's Cooper with the rebound. Allen is fouled by Shakur. Second person up on the senior, Mustafa Shakur.
Showed some good sportsmanship, helps up Allen, but that was a good foul. I mean, I think he stopped a bucket by Memphis going the other way because Memphis had numbers, and if you're going to give up one, that's the time and the way to give it up.
A lead 5 for Arizona. Swing it out to Allen. He pushes it around to Anderson. There's the slasher, and his finger roll is good, and it's a 3-point Arizona lead.
You see the concern by the defender, Ivan Radinovic, for that 3-point line. Overcommits. Anderson makes him pay.
Jawan McClellan trying to post up. That's a beautiful move. That's a power post move. He now has 8.
So now you got Daniel Dillon as kind of that back runner as they go back to what looks like a 1-3-1 zone, but it's organic. It keeps changing from possession to possession. If you see Daniel Dillon run out to the right corner, then you know it's a 1-3-1.
Allen, floater doesn't go. Dillon, good rebounder for a guard, and he pulls it down.
A lot of times the coaching staff, you start out in a 1-3-1 just to stymie the offense, just to get them a little confused. And
Budinger inside with the layup, a beautiful feed.
Beautiful feed, but don't discount the fact that Chase Budinger did a nice job of finding the open area. I mean, that's what I mean by the quiet points, the smooth operator, just finding a way to manufacture points without having to have the basketball in his hands the whole time.
Arizona's biggest lead of the night has been 9 points. There's a 3. And missing. They have not made a three-pointer in the second half. They missed all 9 of their shots after they hit 6 of 11 in the first half.
And on that play, Chase Budinger couldn't get the rebound. So what did he do? He tapped the ball to Ivan Radinovic on the defensive glass. Here's that movement without the basketball. Nice find by Daniel Dillon. That's just kind of body in motion, stays in motion, body at rest, stays at rest.
Daniel Dillon out of Australia. Played high school basketball in Laurel, Kentucky. His mom is a great softball player, played pro softball in Australia. Radinovic at the foul line.
As Coach Cal goes back to his horse, Billy Dorsey inside with the foul trouble.
And they're the guys in foul trouble, and Memphis is in a whole lot worse situation than Arizona. They've got 2 with 4, and Anderson and Douglas Roberts each have 3.
Now Memphis is quick. They've got Dorsey and basically 4 guards on the floor, so look for their offense to be geared more to dribble penetration, little show from the 3-point line. Try and draw the defenders in. You finish it, they don't contest, you kick it out for some open shots if they do.
Radinovic, a perfect 6 for 6 from the line, now comes out for the freshman Jordan Hill. He now has to play the middle of that zone.
You got to do something to get into the gaps of this zone defense.
Hunt could shoot them out, but there's the long arms of Chase Budinger. Hill to drive inside, missing. There's Hill with the rebound.
Hill on the contest of that shot, too. I'm not sure if he got a piece of it, but he definitely made Hunt change his shot. He was responsible, Jordan Hill was, for that miss.
Tell you, for a guy who's only played 2 years of high school basketball, Jordan Hill has great basketball IQ. Oh, and a shot by Daniel Dillon. Put his head down and roared to the hoop.
Yeah, they showed a little flair, a little gusto on that finish inside by Daniel Dillon. Didn't know they had that in Australia.
Allen with the floater. Arizona had their biggest lead of 11. Now it is 9 again with 7.5 to play.
I think that's Andre Allen's first bucket here in the second half after just a career high tying 10 points in the first half.
Budinger missing the three. Misses the shot. He will be at the line as he was fouled by Jordan Hill, and we'll take a break as well. 7:14 remaining in this ball game. Lute Olson, he has won an amazing moment, the '97 National Championship, and we'll take a look at it when we come back. When Lute Olson arrived at the desert, he brought success, and his crowning moment was 1997 when he led the Wildcats to the national title. That was the man, Miles Simon, who was the MVP of the Final Four by hitting 54 points in those final two games. Along the way, Marcus, they beat Kentucky, North Carolina, and Kansas, and Lute, he had his hair messed up at the end.
Yeah, Bennett Davidson messes up the Lute do, but there's Miles Simon, just a terrific college basketball player here at Arizona, now an assistant coach. You know, he had the run for the ages in that Final Four, in the semis and the finals.
But Lute often has said he's one of the smartest players he has ever coached. He came from a great program, Modern Day High School in Santa Ana. And he said Gary McKnight did a great job teaching Miles. And they're bringing another young man from Modern Day next year, Alex Jacobson, the big man, 7'1". But he and Mike Bibby and Michael Dickerson were sensational and so quick.
Yeah, the three guards just coming at you, just relentless. And then the two big guys inside just holding it down, blocking shots, rebounding. A.J. Brown, Bennett Davidson, and that became kind of a staple of what teams started doing. Just the 2 6'7", 6'8" bigs inside and three quick offense scoring, producing guards.
Andre Allen. As you see Mike Bibby, he's one of several who have their numbers retired here at the McHale Center. Andre Allen continues his career best. He has 15 points now. His career high was 11. And Andre will now check out of the game. Hunt. We've got Dorsey back in playing with 4 fouls. Anderson, Willie Kemp on the floor, Douglas Roberts.
And they stay with the small lineup, and the problem that you could have, as we talked about, one of our Pontiac keys, offensive rebounding for Chase Budinger, Juwan McClellan could be effective against Memphis.
Nice pump move by Rabdinovich, and he knocks it down. Give him 18 from the guy, Serbia Montenegro.
There goes B.J. Armstrong on his BlackBerry again, just punching in. Okay, uses the left extremely well. Okay.
Arizona with a 9-point lead.
Which is not safe. Which is not safe the way they shoot the three-pointer. And with the regularity they shoot it, not the efficiency, the regularity.
Anderson will hear it from the fans. Calipari watches his defense settle back against Arizona's offense. We come to you from Tucson, Arizona, the McHale Center. Steve Physiak with Marcus Johnson. They made 54% of their threes in the first half, 0 for 10 in the second half after Anderson just missed the entire basket.
I said they were streaky.
Yep,
I mean,
you're correct, sir.
I said they were streaky. You don't get any more streaky than that.
Well, they lost, what, Rodney Carty, Darius Washington, Sean Williams. Yeah. That is 43 points.
Yeah. And then toughness. Again, this is a team in search, struggling to find a personality.
Juwan McClellan with the miss. The steal by Juwan. Ahead to Shakur.
Oh. Good unselfish play, good defensive anticipation by Juwan McClellan. He took what I thought was an ill-advised jump shot. But boy, Mustafa Shakur, not only has his decision-making improved, but he's explosive. I mean, I just don't remember him jumping into the cup as quickly and as high as he did like on this play. Nice pass hit by Juwan, and just a great job. One of those no doubt about it finishes by Mustafa Shakur.
Well, Lute Olson said he's the quickest player he's had getting down the court since Jason Terry, the great star for the Dallas Mavericks.
And Luke said he was finally convinced. Luke said Mustafa was finally convinced when he went to the NBA tryout camp and the scouts told him the same thing that Lute had been telling him. You don't have to score 20 points a game and look to shoot 15, 20 times. Score your 10 to 12 points, assist, be a setup man, distribute the basketball, continue to play good, tough, solid defense. That will get you to the next level.
And he is playing like an All-American tonight with 20 points. Our Dodge game summary: Arizona was trailing by 5 at the break. Now they lead by 11. And they've outshot Memphis. Andre Allen with a career high 15. Shakur, though, 20 points to go with 5 dishes. Allen, Kemp, Hunt are their perimeter players. 2 inside guys are Dorsey and Dozier. Oh, a nice play. Good feed from Hunt. And they get the jam. Will they count the basket, though? Was there a foul prior to? And Calipari saying, hey, it was during the shot.
Yeah, that's a good job. Good pass by Dorsey on the seal. And I'm confused like Coach Cal is by that couldn't count.
Calipari has Allen call a timeout when he slipped and fell off on the wing. And we'll keep it right here as Arizona with an 11-point lead. We have seen this so many times where the Arizona Wildcats will be down, maybe not playing that well. They go into the locker room, and Lute Olson says the magic words, and they came out and they just played terrific ball. And immediately, I mean, within the first 2 minutes, took a 5-point lead.
Yeah, and again, as you talked about, when this team makes up its mind to pick up its defensive intensity, that's the key for Arizona. You know they can score points. They've got great scorers on the floor almost each and every possession. But once they make the commitment to defense, that's where it makes a difference, and it's reflective in Memphis's field goal percentage and from the 3-point line and the 2-point area here in the second half.
Well, this is just the first of our doubleheader tonight. We've got an SEC Pac-10 matchup with Big Baby Glenn Davis, the All-American candidate out of LSU. He's averaging a double-double this year, going against the sophomore John Brockman. Brockman, I mean, you talk about Washington, ever since Lorenzo Romar got there, it's about 8 or 9 guys deep.
And Brockman, one of the stars at the power forward spot, one of the top rebounders in the country. Spencer Hawes, one of the best freshmen in the country this season. And you can see just how strong the Pac-10 is against non-conference foes. 81% leading the nation with the vaunted ACC and the SEC in the Big East. Eating our dust, Steve, eating our dust.
I mean, and with big wins like UCLA beating Brigham Young, Kentucky, Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, Arizona's beating Illinois.
Cupcakes, get them out of here. Cupcakes.
Oregon winning at Georgetown.
Whatever.
Washington State.
The Pac is back. Yes.
70 to 59, and here is Hunt from the corner. Boy, that was an NBA 3.
Don't exhale the first 3 this half from Memphis, and if you're Lute Olson in Arizona, you want it to be the last one because they can get themselves back into this game as they already have, being down by 8 in a hurry.
5 minutes to go. Buttinger, baseline pass.
And you don't want to get into your prevent offense and then get passive out there offensively. You want to continue to take the same shots that got you the lead.
And there is a tip by Allen as he knocked it out of bounds as Radinovich went to the hoop. Shakur got in the air, and that was almost a terrible pass.
Yeah, he almost got himself in trouble. Kind of an afterthought bounce pass at the last minute. But again, a teammate bailing you out of trouble. That's a good sign for Arizona.
That's a good sign for Arizona.
So smooth. Smooth operator. Bob Elliott, the Arizona announcer here in Tucson, refers to him. I can't take credit for that. He calls him the smooth operator, and I can see why.
13 of his 16 have come after the break.
And that's the mark of a great player, talking about Chase Buttinger, the ability to just, I don't want to say turn it on when you have to, but just know you have to pick up your level of intensity and then show some tangible results by scoring 13 of your 16 points in the second half.
A traveling violation against Memphis. Memphis still searching for an identity, but still they are the favorite to win Conference USA this year.
This is what John Calipari was talking about at the shoot-around this morning. When his team gets down and now they start hanging their head, they start making the mental errors, as we saw with Willie Kemp and that turnover. That was a straight unforced error on the part of the freshman Willie Kemp.
And he was telling the guys today, listen, focus, execute. Sometimes they've been listening, but they have been focusing on executing the offense, and that is 12 turnovers now for Lute Olson's Wildcats to go against Memphis. Memphis is 15.
But when they first took the floor for their shoot-around this morning, the Memphis Tigers coach Cal was like, what was Michael Jordan's greatest moment? And they were like, when he busted Craig Elo? Nope. When he did this? Nope. It was when he was sick, came back, and made those great plays against the Utah Jazz. And I want everybody out here showing some emotion and aggression and dunk and scream and yell, because he's trying to get his guys fired up, trying to help them establish a personality.
Because Douglas Roberts has not had the kind of game he was seeing. He was the Conference USA Player of the Week, but not healthy. He scored, 54 points in 2 games?
It just dawned on me. He was using that Michael Jordan analogy to probably get to Douglas Roberts. You know, you're sick, you're not feeling good, you could still have a great game tonight.
So they've needed more from Jeremy Hunt, and he has delivered. He scored 20. And Memphis trying to come back on Arizona. They cut the lead to 7. They still have kids. They still have time. Pac-10 Hoops on FSN is brought to you by Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA and the Pac-10. See the all-new Pontiac showroom at your Pontiac dealer today. And by Dillard's, the style of your life. John Button Salmon, who passed away in 1926, his message to his football team was to bear down. And Mustafa Shakur listening, because he has bared down in this second half and been flat brilliant. And he has 20 points. He got 5 assists.
And as Lute Olson talked about his rebounding, one of the best rebounding guards he's ever had. 5 rebounds in this game. And everything's under control. I mean, he's done a nice job running the fast break, getting out of transition, displaying his improved athleticism, and I just like the way his head is on a lot straighter this season in terms of running this basketball team.
This year is focused only about winning.
Winning will get you there.
Yeah, exactly.
If you win, they will come. They are here. B.J. Armstrong, Danny Ainge. If you win, they will come.
Meantime, Marcus, Joey Dorsey has fouled out with 8 points and 11 rebounds, so they've lost their best board man from Memphis, down by 7, as Daniel Dillon now goes to the free throw line. And Dillon just 2 for 8 this year from the free throw line. But losing Joey Dorsey is awfully important. A 6'9", 260-pound forward. Here comes Memphis, as Dillon missed both.
We're talking about Dorsey when he's 22 times that he has gotten to double-figure rebounds, and Memphis has won 20 of those games. Now, him fouling out with this amount of time left could be a factor, but Kareem Cooper's done a nice job offensively for this team when he's been on the floor.
Misses the left-handed hook. Shakur runs right over Andre Allen, and is it a charge or a blocking foul? They're saying,
well, in Memphis it'd be a charge. I think here in Cal it'll be a block. But you got to give the offensive player, when he catches the ball and turns, at least one step to come down. And I don't know if he was allowed that by Jeremy Hunt. You see, there's that contact and step kind of simultaneously happening.
You know what's interesting? The officials went to the sideline. They said foul on 1-5, and that's why I thought they were calling it on Shakur. But it was Hunt who took the charge, and Andre Allen went over and said, hey, wait a second, I'm 1-5. And the official changed that and gave the foul to Hunt instead of Allen.
That's one of those bang-bang numbers. It's a tough one. But I thought it was a good call nonetheless, because you have to allow the man to come down and change directions if he so desires, and Mustafa wasn't allowed to do so.
And now Marcus Williams has fouled out of the game, his 5th personal foul. So Dorsey out for Memphis, their best rebounder, now one of the top scorers for the Wildcats, leaves the floor. Marcus Williams, so Lute Olson saying, okay, Daniel, go back in. This time make your foul shots.
And not a typical Marcus Williams game, 7 points, 6 rebounds. But remember, he's got 2 wrists that are pretty sore, and that fall he took against Houston the other night damaged the right one, which really limits what he can do in terms of shooting the ball from the outside, which is a big part of his setup game, so he can drive around to get to the basket.
Now they've got a week off to rest those wrists, because their next game will be their Pac-10 opener as they host Cal and Stanford. Then on the road to Washington and Washington State.
Tony Bennett got those guys playing great basketball. Davin Harmerlane was the Pac-10 player of the week last week. Derek Lowe Chesty, this little kid, freshman kid, played terrifically against Gonzaga.
Pac-10 really much improved. The Washington Huskies will be hosting LSU next on FSN. McClellan looking in the middle of the floor, now backs away. 3 minutes left in this ball game.
Now the new Marcus moving on the floor. Now it's time to go into your semi-controlled, I don't want to say stall, but you really want to make sure it's a good shot, take some time off the shot clock, force them into a foul situation, and play the free throw game.
Allen reached in with 7 seconds left. Dillon missed his last 2 foul shots. For Allen, it was his 3rd personal foul.
Good bounce back by the Aussie.
From Melbourne, Australia. Makes them both. And Arizona goes back up by 9. Inside 3 minutes to go.
Too early to just rely completely on the 3-ball from Memphis. But if you get a good look, you certainly will take it.
Kareem Cooper muscling his way inside.
He is a load. Once when they recruited him, Tom Crean out of Michigan called up Coach Callen out of Marquette. Called up Coach Callen and said, I know you got all these great guys coming in, Sean Williams and Joey Dorsey, but this Kareem Cooper kid may be the best of the bunch.
Boy, that's when Sean was a first-round pick by Indiana.
Sean, first-round pick, Carney. This team has had a lot of guys move on and do some things on another level, which gives you an idea of what they do in terms of player development. I mean, Rodney Carter, when he came in out of Indianapolis, nobody had ever heard of him. Nobody really recruited him heavily coming out of high school.
Hunt missing, but there's Cooper again. Count it. Kareem. Chance for 3.
Kareem doing a nice job again. When you're 6'11", 290, it's easy to create space inside. Here's a little draw, kick penetration. And once Ivan Radinovic comes over to offer some help, there's no one left to block out Kareem Cooper inside.
And Kareem, this is only his 3rd game of the year because he was suspended October 30th for violating team rules, brought back November 25th. And it was the players who went to Coach Calipari and said, hey, Coach, he's a good guy, put him back in. And Coach went to Kareem and said, hey, your players think enough for you. You don't play for you. Play for the players who are supporting you. And he welcomed him back to the team. And he's playing well in this game with 10 points.
It's your attitude, son. It's your attitude.
Yep.
You got to change your attitude. It's your attitude. And he's changed it. I was joking with him and one of the other players, McGrady, who's actually Tracy McGrady's younger brother out there. I didn't realize that, but we were talking before the game. I was like, how's his attitude? Kareem's like, what? And McGrady told me they got a lot better. And he's listening and following instructions and being very productive out here on the floor tonight.
He'll be at the free throw line with an opportunity to bring Memphis within 4 points. He has been their main dog down the stretch here. Under Calipari, they're 40-26 in road games, but he knew it would be a tough test going to the McHale Center, playing at number 9 Arizona. Cooper makes it, finishes the 3-point play, and it is a 4-point game.
Okay, this is how we like them, coming down to the wire. Arizona has got to do a good job executing first against this full court man-to-man pressure. We hadn't seen a lot of this tonight, so you hadn't gone against it during the course of the ball game. It's going to be interesting to see what the Wildcats do in terms of effectively handling it, and what they do is clear out from a Juwan McClellan, which helps when you got a guy like McClellan who can advance the basketball and create some plays.
Nick Wise is in for Daniel Dillon, a better foul shooter. Radinovic picked up his dribble. Here's Shakur. McClellan missing the 3. Budinger misses the tap back, and Memphis has a chance to get within 2 or 1. Allen on the drive, kicks it back out. Budinger taps it to himself and is knocked down by the Tigers.
Yeah, not a good play by Andre Allen. And Andre Allen on that play, I thought just a little too aggressive going in against the bigs inside. I mean, good to penetrate, good to draw the bigs, but now look to kick it out to some of your shooters who are spotting up. That time he's challenging 6'10" Ivan Radinovic. And a nice job, Chase Budinger, just kind of eluding the first wave of defenders from Memphis and then getting tripped up near midcourt to get himself to the free throw line.
And Budinger, 80% on the year and a perfect 5 for 5. He and Radinovic have been outstanding, and Arizona 20 for 26 from the line. while Memphis only has taken 10 shots and made 7. Marcus Williams fouling out.
But for Chase Budding, I mean, and you look at his floor game tonight and just his overall game offensively, and you're like, well, he's been just okay. He's been average. He's got 17 points. He's got his average. He may finish this game over 20 points and having what kind of appears to the naked eye to be just kind of an average, blasé type of a game for Chase Budding. That's that quietly efficient, smooth operator basketball we're seeing.
Now they settle back on defense. A 3 misses by Jeremy Hunt. Mustafa Shakur picks up a loose basketball. A score here might just seal this.
Big possession for both offense and defense. Again, patience, take some time off the clock. But if you can get something going to the basket, I think you take it. I don't think you really want to get into this prevent offense.
And Arizona has their best foul shooters on the floor right now. Shakur.
There it is.
Oh, and he gets crushed down low.
Yeah,
he not only got bumped by Cooper, but he got stepped on by another Tiger. So Shakur will be to the free throw line to shoot 2 foul shots.
Mustafa's like, hold that, Tiger. But here he puts his head down with about 13, 14 seconds left on the shot clock, which to me, it's a good move. Again, I don't want to like when you work the shot clock down to 5 seconds, and now you're pretty much relegated to just a long, wild, out of control, contested jump shot. Here he was able to put his head down, make something happen, get to the free throw line.
The chosen one from Philadelphia, Friends Central, All-American in high school. His rotation is almost perfect now. He's been working on that shot.
What a difference 3 years make. When he came in, folks, that shot looked nothing like that. It's herky-jerky action, crazy rotation.
He's got 21 in the game. Give him 22. And Shakur gives Arizona an 8-point lead inside of a minute to play.
Now you might have to go for the 3-point shots.
A whistle, a violation against Memphis, and that may just about do it.
Offensive foul on Chris Douglas-Roberts, who, as we talked about at the outset, a little stomach virus, feeling under the weather, didn't participate in any of the pre-game workout stuff, and here out of control. But give McLeod the his credit, just kind of stepping up, taking the hit, taking the heat.
Only 7 points by Douglas-Roberts after being named the Conference USA Player of the Week with 54 points in 2 games.
They dropped 28 on Austin Peay their last time out. And you can just see that he's not playing with the same energy, and then that's what happens.
Oh, they missed the slam. Pretty pass, though, and it's picked back up by Radinovich, so they'll have a chance to just dribble it out. And Arizona will run the record to 9-1, while Memphis loses for the 3rd time this year. They only suffered 4 defeats all last season.
Good test for the Wildcats, and they passed the test.
Well, remember, this is just the first half of an outstanding FSN doubleheader. Arizona beats Memphis 79-71. Coming up next, LSU against Washington in Seattle. Number 12 against number 17. For Marcus Johnson and my statistician Jeff Chapman, I'm Steve Zuziak saying so long from the McHale Center in Tucson, where Lute Olson wins again.